The other thing I can go over quickly is just some stuff we did for iZotope, like relating to the algorithm update. They saw basically a decline to their blog. So we wanted to look at like what that was and both kind of like quick wins, but then also like what else could they look at? What I did was just did a crawl of the site and then extracted the date, which the article was written, the author of the article was written. And then I had the categories for each article, but definitely categorized them all into something, and then pulled in metrics from like prior to the update to after the update to try to give me like an idea of what saw the biggest drops, and also pulled in the inspection tool to see like if it's on Google or if it got removed or if there's any issues and stuff. So that kind of gave me the quick, like high value ones. I just took the ones that saw the biggest drop from May to June and then looked for just things to talk to them about. Like some of them didn't have any authors or no dates on them. Some of them had URL issues. They had like issue with their schema markup. So I like had them look at that. And then I just kind of went through and was like, what have we done with these pages? Have we touched them recently? Are they ranking for their, intended target? And then there were some of them that I found that like they saw a lot of traffic drop or impression drop, but they really didn't see much drop to their like main keyword. It was like keywords that they were ranking for that Google changed their intent on. So like words that rhyme, like formats of files and stuff like that, like stuff that really didn't make sense for them to even be ranking for anyway. So it's kind of like, yeah, you saw a drop there, but there's not much you can do about that. So maybe don't worry about those. So that was kind of like the quick win of that. And then it turned into doing like an E.A.T audit. So I kind of took some information from this and like pivoted this into like the dates in which things were written and the authors who wrote some of them and stuff. So it turned into this. This is what E.A.T is. This is how this stuff relates to it. So I first talked about like content that's irrelevant to them anymore. Like they have this Spire product that they don't do anymore, which is all like home recording stuff. So maybe they can get rid of that content since it doesn't really do anything for them anymore. And then mention some of the ones that like I mentioned earlier, like words about rhyme, how to choose chords for your melody, like a lot of like songwriting stuff that they don't really do. They're recording software, but like writing music isn't something that they're going to teach or have a service for. So it kind of doesn't really make sense for them to rank for it or have. And then it went through like authority stuff. Majority of their articles didn't have an author attached to it. So they want to do that. They have this iZotope team as like a catch-all if they don't know who the author is. This was another thing. There's no link to get to the author page. So I recommended they added that. The iZotope team page just like has nothing on it. Not really showing their authority, not really doing anything, just says that they wrote the article. So gave them some pointers like that. And then also with like the freshness content was basically like from 2018 on, you have a decent amount of content, but that was like 5+ years ago at this point. So maybe those are ones you want to consider getting rid of or updating or doing something with. Then the last thing we did was looked at competitors and just looked at like Ahrefs and compared their keyword footprints over the past like year and just looked at like where were they seeing traffic wins and how can iZotope replicate that. So for this company Lander, what I found is they were writing a ton more pages over the past 6 months. From like April, it really grew. So that's kind of how they were able to get traffic back, just adding new content to the site. This company Waves had one article that like drove most of their traffic and they updated it in February 2022. So you can kind of see it was going down. And then since then went way up and did really, really well after the update. So I pointed that to them as like, this is an article you should look at and try to replicate and like figure out what they did because it did really well. And I gave them some ideas about like what I kind of quickly saw. These are just like a lot of things to look at when it comes to like an algorithm update. E.A.T definitely a big thing and like what's on the site. And then also like what are competitors doing? What can they replicate? That sort of thing.